Welcome, my friends. Today, I'm not here to motivate you with big words. I'm here to show you something simple that can change not only your life, but also the lives of people around you. Because sometimes, the most powerful inspiration doesn't come from what you say. It comes from what you do. Before we start, I want you to ask yourself honestly, do people feel inspired when they see my life? Or do they see someone who just talks, but doesn't act? Am I becoming the person I want to be, or just thinking about it? And the most important question, if someone follows my daily actions, will their life improve? Take a moment, think about it. Because today, I want to tell you a story. A simple story about a person who never gave speeches, but still changed many lives. In a small, quiet town, where life moved slowly, there lived a young man named Arif. He was not special. No big talent. No big success. No one knew his name. Just a normal person, living a normal life. Arif's days looked like everyone else's. He woke up late. He rushed to work. He came back tired. At night, he would sit with his phone, scrolling, watching, wasting time. And deep inside, he always felt something was missing. Every night before sleeping, one question stayed in his mind: is this really my life? He wanted to change. But like most people, he didn't know how. One night, after another long, unproductive day, Arif sat quietly. No phone, no noise, just silence. And in that moment, he made a small decision. Tomorrow I will wake up early. Not a big promise. Not a big goal. Just one small change. The next day, the alarm rang at 5 a.m. Arif felt tired. His mind said, sleep more, you can start tomorrow. But something inside him said, just get up. And for the first time, he chose action over comfort. He stepped outside. The streets were empty. The air was fresh. Everything was quiet. He started walking, then slowly he started running. It was not perfect. He got tired quickly. But he didn't stop. The next day, he did it again. Then again. Then again. Some days were easy. Some days were hard. Some days he didn't feel like doing anything. But still he showed up. Life around Arif didn't suddenly become perfect. His job was still tiring. Every morning after his run, he still had to go to work. Long hours. Pressure from his boss. Deadlines that didn't wait for his mood. Some days, he felt completely exhausted. There were days when his body felt heavy, his mind felt stressed, his energy felt low. And in those moments, his old voice came back. Why are you doing all this? Just rest, skip today. Nothing will change anyway. This was the real challenge. Not the running, not the work, but the battle inside his mind. Every day, he had to fight between two choices: comfort or growth. Earlier, he used to listen to that voice. He would skip. He would delay. He would give up easily. But now, something had changed. Even when he felt tired, he didn't stop. Even when he didn't feel motivated, he still showed up. His life didn't change immediately, but his mindset did. He stopped saying, "This is too hard," and started thinking, "This is making me stronger." He stopped escaping stress and started handling it. Slowly, without even realizing, he became stronger. Not just in his body, but in his mind. He could handle pressure better. He could control his thoughts. He didn't give up easily anymore. Earlier, problems used to stop him. Now, problems were making him better. Because he understood one thing: life doesn't get easier, you get stronger. At night, instead of wasting hours, he started using his time better. Reading, learning, thinking about his future. Step by step, his life started changing. At first, no one cared. But slowly, people began to notice. Why is he waking up early? Why is he always focused? Why is he different now? But Arif never explained anything. He never tried to impress anyone. He just kept going. One morning, just like every other day, Arav was running alone on the empty road. The sky was still dark. The streets were silent. Most people were still asleep. But not everyone. On the side of the road, there stood a young boy, half awake, holding his phone in his hand. He had stayed up all night, scrolling, watching, wasting time. His eyes were tired. His mind was distracted. His life had no direction. This boy's life was simple, but empty. He woke up late. He spent hours on his phone. He avoided responsibilities. He delayed everything important. Every day he told himself, I will change tomorrow. But tomorrow never came. As he stood there, he saw Arav running. Not fast. Not perfect. But consistent. Focused. Alone. And something about that moment felt different. For the first time, he didn't scroll. He didn't look away. He just watched. And a question came into his mind. Why is he doing this when no one is watching? That question stayed. Because the boy knew something. Arav was not doing it for attention. Not for social media. Not for people. He was doing it for himself. The boy didn't feel motivated. He felt something deeper. Awareness. For the first time, he saw the difference between wasting time and using time, difference between comfort and discipline. As Arav ran past him, the boy looked at his own life. And he realized, I am wasting my days. I am doing nothing. I have no direction. It was not a good feeling, but it was a real feeling. That morning, nothing big happened. The boy didn't suddenly become perfect, but something small changed inside him. His thinking. And that is where every change begins. The next day, that boy tried to wake up early. It was hard. He failed the first day. But he tried again. Because he remembered Arav. Days passed. Nothing dramatic happened overnight. No big transformation. No instant success. But something quiet, something powerful, started to grow. That one boy didn't become perfect. Some days he woke up early. Some days he failed. Some days he felt strong. Some days he felt lazy again. But one thing was different now. He didn't stop trying. Because every time he felt like giving up, he remembered Arav. Running alone. Without excuses. After a few days, the boy started waking up regularly. Not because he was forced, but because he wanted to. His habits slowly changed: less phone time, more focus, more awareness. He wasn't a different person yet, but he was no longer the same. One morning, his friend noticed him. Why are you waking up so early? Why are you changing? At first, the boy didn't know what to say. Then he simply replied, I saw someone doing it. The next day, his friend joined him. They both struggled. They both felt tired, but now, they were not alone. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Another person joined. Then another. Then a small group formed. Not because of a speech. Not because of motivation videos. But because they saw real action. No one forced them. No one guided them step by step. But they all had one common reason. They saw someone living differently. And it made them question their own life. Arav never knew what he started. He never planned to inspire anyone. He never tried to change others, but still, his actions created a chain reaction. Arav never stood in front of people and gave a speech. He never said, wake up early. Work hard. Be disciplined. He never tried to convince anyone. He never tried to look perfect. While others were talking about change, Arav was living it. While others were planning, Arav was doing it. While others were waiting for the right time, Arav started with what he had. Words are easy. Anyone can say, I will change, I will work hard, I will become better, but actions? Actions are proof. And people trust proof. more than promises. When people heard advice, they forgot it. But when they saw Arif, waking up early, staying consistent, improving quietly, they couldn't ignore it, because it was real. Arif didn't push anyone. He didn't force anyone. He didn't explain everything. But still, he made people think. And that is powerful. Because when a person starts thinking, change begins. People started asking themselves, why am I not doing this? What am I doing with my time? If he can do it, why can't I? And these questions changed their mindset. Before seeing Arif, people thought, this is too hard. After seeing Arif, they started thinking, maybe I can do it too. The difference between words and actions. Words, temporary, easy, often forgotten. Actions, real, visible, unforgettable. One day, someone asked Arif, why don't you teach others? You can motivate so many people. Arif smiled and said something simple. People don't follow words, they follow actions. And that's the truth. A truth most people don't realize. You don't need to be loud. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to stand on a stage and give speeches. Because whether you realize it or not, your actions are already speaking. Even when you say nothing, you are sending a message. How you wake up, how you use your time, how you handle problems, how you react to difficulties. Your life is your message. Most people don't follow advice. They follow behavior. They don't remember what you say, but they remember what you do. Someone is always watching you. A younger person in your family, a friend who feels lost, someone who looks up to you silently. They may never tell you, but they notice everything. When you wake up late, when you waste time, when you give up easily, or when you stay disciplined, when you stay consistent, when you keep going even when it's hard. You don't need a big audience to inspire. Even one person watching you is enough to create change. Because your actions plant ideas in their mind. Maybe I should try. Maybe I can change. Maybe I can become better, whether you accept it or not. Your life is influencing others every single day. So the real question is not, am I inspiring people? The real question is, what am I teaching people through my actions? One good action doesn't inspire people. Consistent actions do. When people see you, showing up every day, staying focused, improving slowly, they start believing, this is possible. You don't need to prove anything with words. Your life proves everything. The way you wake up, the way you work, the way you live, is shaping someone else's thinking. Before you leave, take a moment and ask yourself, what kind of example am I setting every day? Because your life is not just yours. Someone is learning from you, silently. If this message made you think, if it made you realize something, then don't just leave it here. Act on it. And if you want to become that person who inspires others not by words, but by actions, then hit the subscribe button. Because here, we don't just talk about change. We live it. And I want to hear from you. What is one action you will start from today? Comment it below. Because when you write it, you make it real. And stay tuned, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Final message is, don't just watch inspiration, become the reason someone else feels it.